There's some pretty exciting space news that's recently gone public, and we're here to talk about it. We've gotten a jaw-dropping reveal of the upcoming permanent moon base, updates on Iran's Salman rocket taking animals to space, and some new info about the secretive X-37B space plane launch that's expected for the end of this year. There's plenty to talk about. But before we get into it, be sure to click that subscribe button. We're always covering the newest updates in the global space race, so that you can stay informed on what's new and improved in the industry. So stick around, join the community, and let's dive right in. The new moon base. We've sent our fair share of people to the moon in the past couple years, with technologies developing rapidly and countries pouring countless resources and capital into being the industry leader when it comes to space exploration. It seems like the space race is ongoing and has no intentions of stopping. But we seem to forget that in the midst of all these expeditions to the moon and rocket launches, there is one ultimate goal in mind: seeing the viability of humans living on planets other than Earth. And one of the most realistic environments that is on top of every researcher and astronaut's mind is the moon. The Artemis space program, launched in 2017, has already stated that their mission is to return human beings back to the moon. But what does that entail long term? Well, living there, of course. And while that idea might seem far-fetched to some, it might be a reality that's closer than you think. That's because on November 23, 2023, the French startup Tenacity Space uploaded a social media post that shocked many and sent space fans into complete awe. This was an announcement post revealing that the Lunar Multi-Purpose Habitat Project was now officially underway. The post also mentioned that the Tenacity Space had just signed into an agreement with the Italian Space Agency and was now receiving external support for the development of their moon base. News had already broken regarding the development of the multi-purpose habitat back in mid-October, when it successfully completed NASA's Element Initiation Review, which showed that the module had the necessary functionalities for space habitation as outlined by the Artemis program's lunar surface infrastructure. The Lunar Multi-Purpose Habitat, or MPH for short, aims to be the first permanent outpost on the moon. And with news of the Artemis program aiming to send humans back to the moon as soon as late 2025, this reveal has space fans overjoyed. Quote, MPH will mark a historic milestone as the first Italian habitation module to operate on the lunar surface. This is a matter of great pride for our company, which has the unique technical and organizational skills to overcome challenges of this kind, unquote, said Franco Finoglio, who is the head of human planetary exploration and robotics programs at Tenacity Space. But while we space fans might like the sound of a permanent moon base, Tenacity Space has their work cut out for them. Developing a habitat of this scale requires significant resources and a ton of labor. That's because to ensure the safety of those living inside, the habitat must maintain a pressurized environment that ensures life support, while also being able to protect inhabitants from radiation and possible micrometeorite showers. But if successful, they will be the first company to ever create a permanent lunar habitation module, which is a title that many in the space race are desperate to claim. Of course, with the project still in relatively early stages, we don't know too much about the details or even the design yet. Everything is still highly subject to change depending on a wide variety of constraints. From the render that was provided by Tenacity Space, we can see that they anticipate the moon base to be cylindrical in shape, powered primarily by large-scale solar panels that cover the outside. But we're sure that there's still many stages of design improvements and changes to go before we get a glimpse at a finalized render. The next step for Tenacity Space is now to get the multi-purpose habitat certified through the completion of the Mission Concept Review, which they anticipate will happen during the first quarter of 2024. Once that is done, the team can move on to the next phases of technology design and development and life support solutions. Iran's Salman rocket and animal passengers. Here's the latest in developments for Iran's space race. The country has now started to send living things into space in preparation for human missions. With plans to send humans to the moon as early as 2029, Iran recently launched a capsule filled with animals into space on Wednesday, December the 6th, 2023. The rocket that they used is named Salman. The launch was spotted by state TV, who then captured the footage of the capsule and rocket departing Earth. Although the types of animals being used as passengers hasn't fully been confirmed, we know that 10 years ago, back in 2013, Iran had said they had successfully sent a monkey to space before using short-lived satellites that were going into orbit. Back then, the U.S. and other Western countries had expressed their concerns about that specific project, as the technology utilized has been known to be linked to long-range missile development. However, we may now be able to tie that specific mission back to Iran's space race instead. According to a report by the official IRNA news agency, the capsule shot up to about 80 miles into orbit, and the capsule itself was around 1,000 pounds or 450 kilograms. This is just one of the many steps that Iran has taken to advance its spot in the global space race. Just a few months ago, in September of 2023, the country had sent a data-collecting satellite to space. So we can only anticipate more news of Iran's space developments as we end the year and enter the first quarter of 2024. A new date for X-37B's 7th mission. The Boeing X-37, or as we know it, the X-37B, is a reusable robotic spacecraft operated by the Department of the Air Force Rapid Capabilities Office in partnership with the United States Space Force. And it's a classified project that space fans are always eager to know more about. And now we finally have some more news. The program first began in 1999 with NASA, but has since been transferred to the military in 2004, turning it completely classified. So although much of the activities and developments of the X-37B are kept secret by the United States Air Force, we do know that the spacecraft is meant to conduct technology experiments on long-term orbital flights, with the Space Force informing us of its past efforts in testing, harnessing, and transmitting solar energy. There is also a bit of information regarding the vehicle on the X-37B fact sheet provided by the Air Force. There, the primary objectives are stated as reusable spacecraft technologies for America's future in space and operating experiments which can be returned to and examined on Earth. The X-37B had its first mission in April of 2010, launching on the Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral SLC-41. And to date, it's done 5 other missions, bringing its total mission count to 6. The spaceplane was anticipated to have another one on December the 11th, 2023, but it was postponed to a later date, with the company canceling the launch just 30 minutes before the established time. But now we finally have a new confirmed date. Well, as confirmed as things like this can be. SpaceX has now told us that the X-37B is anticipated to once again launch into space on December 28th, 2023, and it will fly with NASA Kennedy Space Center's Falcon Heavy rocket. This upcoming launch will take place at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida and will be the spaceplane's 7th mission, should no other unexpected problems push the date back any further. As per usual, we don't know many details regarding the actual launch due to the secrecy of the project, but military officials have said that this mission is primarily an orbital testbed for new and upcoming space technology. And like the previous missions, we have no estimated time frame for the mission. We're unclear on when it will actually return to Earth or how long it intends to stay in space. But with how many launches it has already done so far, it's probably safe to infer that this one will be a longer trip as developments ramp up and competing countries like China kick their space efforts into high gear. The Falcon Heavy rocket, which will be accompanying the X-37B, has launched 8 times already. And in 2023 alone, it already has done 4 launches. It's considered the second most powerful rocket out there, second only to NASA's Space Launch System. While it's great that we now have a new date for the X-37B's launch, it's still not yet confirmed whether or not the spaceplane will actually be able to make it into space this time. But when it does, we'll be sure to cover it here. So be sure to subscribe.